Also, the good news is that because God is all knowing, He makes provisions, I guess you can say, for our mess ups, because He already know that we're going to slip up sometimes. Now, of course.
What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to Kingdom Prototype, the blueprint for abundant living. I'm your girl X.
I'm your girl Jazz.
And welcome back, beautiful people. All right, y'all. We are still in our standing on business series, where we are essentially talking about how we need to stand on business. We need to stand on our kingdom business. We need to choose ye today whom we gonna serve. Okay, we need to pick a side. Okay, we need to embrace our identity in God, and then we need to live our lives like so.
Facts. That part. Emphasis on that part.
That's it.
Because we can't do all those things and live a raggedy life at the same time.
This don't make.
Yeah, because it don't. The math isn't mathing. And also, we have to remember that we're fighting against a real devil.
Okay.
Like
who hates us?
Right. Who literally hates our guts. So we don't have room to not stand on business.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? To not be decided for the kingdom of God. Like we talked about in our previous episode, like we can't be dabbling over here and dabbling over there simply because that gives this right. Simply because that gives Satan way too much access into our lives to wreak havoc. Yeah, wreak havoc in our lives. So yeah,
come and mess some stuff
mess it all the way up.
Okay, yeah. So he likes it when we live a raggedy life. He likes it when we dibble and dabble. He likes it when we're double-minded. He loves that. He's like, oh yeah, keep on doing that.
Right, that's the part. Because the thing about it, he don't care if you go to church.
Okay.
He don't care if you what else? I don't know. Listen to only gospel music. You don't listen to secular music. Like, do all the outward things. Okay, but your inward is trash. Okay. I couldn't find a better word for that. Your inward is not living up to the standard of God. So he doesn't care if you do all these things, but actually you aren't standing on business and you haven't actually made a decision to truly follow God.
Yeah.
Like he's
like, I bet.
Right. You can go on to church.
Go on church. Go on and he can
and run around the church as many times as you want to. But the moment you actually get serious about like seeking God and just going deeper in your relationship with God, it's on
for
the rest of your life.
It is.
I mean, that sounds dark, but it's the truth.
But let's go here because we ain't got time. We also talking about standing on business, so that also means not being scary.
Yeah.
Standing on business and being bold while it's on for the quote unquote rest of our lives. We ultimately have the victory because God has given us the power over all the power of Gangsta Prophet taught me that. God has given us power over all of the power of the enemy. So there's no need to be fearful or scared. Oh my gosh. That's raggedy mindset. I said it. I know. I came out here swinging.
Yeah, that's real. So essentially we have what we need.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like yes, we're going to have to battle this thing out, which God already told us in his Bible. Yes, we're in the active spiritual warfare between the kingdom of darkness and the kingdom of light. But at the end of the day, like you said, we have everything we need.
Come on.
So it's not like we're out here. Just out here.
Yeah.
And ultimately, like you also said, we have the victory at the end of the day, and God is on our side. Like God tells us that if in his word, if he is for us, who can be against us?
Who?
Right.
And that is why relationship is so important. And many of us are out here losing the battle that we've already been destined to win, but we're losing because we aren't being active participants. And we're not putting on the armor of God because we don't have the relationship. Because we are into all of these religious acts. I go to church, I speak in tongues, I'm on every Bible study, I listen to my Jesus music, but my heart is far from God. As Isaiah put it like this, for the people bless me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. And we are living in a generation, we don't like this word, we don't like this, we don't like that Bible. We are living in a generation where so many people bless God with their lips
and their hearts
are so far from God. And then you wonder why. I'm gonna leave that alone. But then we wonder why our lives look the way that it looks. Then we wonder why we feel the way that we feel. Could it be that you are blessing God with your lips, but your heart is far from Him? I know I done took a left. I can't help it.
That's good. I forgot who said it, but somebody that I was watching, they just said basically like the difference between the believer and the non-believer is the believers are more dependent. Basically, they said the holiest people are the most dependent people because they see their need for God and they're continuously running to the throne. Whereas, people on the other end may allow pride to get in the way or whatever the case is, and essentially don't see their need for God. So now you trying to just do everything yourself and you trying to live this life essentially without God. And then it's like you said, you wonder why everything fall to pieces. But also the good news is that because God is all knowing, he makes provisions, I guess you can say, for our mess ups, because he already know that we're going to slip up sometimes. Now, of course, the goal is never to slip up, but it's inevitable. At times it's going to happen. Yeah. Oh, somebody else. No, that's real. Because we're human, right? I mean,
listen, you catch me on the wrong day, you're going to get it.
Yeah, no, that's real though. I mean, because at the end of the day, we're human. Like I mean, we're called to be like Jesus, but we're not Jesus.
He's the only one who ain't cuss nobody out. I don't know how he did it.
Yeah, I could have and just think about all the dumb questions the disciples asked.
I'd have been like, oh, sorry. I would have been like. No patience.
Jesus literally broke it down like, this is going to happen. I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna rise again. I'm gonna come back to life. And they was like, what?
I would have no.
We don't understand. What are you saying to us right now? Yeah. So,
but they also didn't have all the Bible that we have. Let me be compassionate.
That is true.
They also didn't have they weren't privy to the times that we are privy to.
That is true.
And so it is very easy for us. I know I felt the conviction as we sit here laughing and joking at the disciples. It is easy for us to be like, bro.
Yeah.
Right here in your face. But they've never heard anybody even speak in a parable. Mm-hmm. And then here comes Jesus talking about this temple. Somebody destroys the temple, and then 3 days later, it's gonna rise again. And they looking at him like, "What you mean? Like, if you break down the actual physical temple, ain't nobody rebuilding that in 3 days?"
Right? Yeah. I would have definitely been thrown off by that. I would have been like, "Wait a minute, Jesus! It's gonna take 40 plus years to build this. Like, what are we talking about?"
And so, anyway, I felt the conviction on that. So, we laughing, but we also understand. But dang. I couldn't be Jesus. Yeah. At the end of the day.
That's why Jesus was Jesus, and he was the only one fit for the sacrifice.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, right. But yeah, at the end of the day, he makes provisions for that because he knows that while we're still being sanctified and while the ultimate goal is to become like him, we're still going to slip up. We're still going to mess up. And we've seen plenty of examples of this in the Bible. Like, we can give you one example now, which is Luke chapter 22 verse 32. So it says, "But I have pleaded in prayer for you, Simon, that your faith should not fail. So when you have repented and turned to me again, strengthen your brothers." So in that, I mean, we can interpret that Jesus, he is God, so he knew everything, but he was well aware of Peter's future denial of him. You know what I'm saying? And he knew that he would betray them, but he knew that Peter would betray him. But even before all of that, Jesus told Peter that he would be the rock that he built his church on, already knowing that, Peter was going to do what he did. So I said all that to say there is still grace is basically what I'm getting at. Of course, you don't want to abuse the grace, but
that part.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to go all the way left and just like, well, God is understanding, God is all knowing, he's forgiven me, so let me just go and wild out because he's going to forgive me anyway. No, that's not how it works. But there is grace for those of us who are really trying to walk in holiness and trying to do right and live according to the way that God wants us to live.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you back up before this actual scripture, it says, going back to what we were talking about, as far as the spiritual warfare, Jesus tells Peter that the enemy wants to come and sift you like wheat. But I have prayed for you so that your faith will not fail. And so just to piggyback off your point that God knows that the enemy is coming. He's going to throw temptations. We're going to be triggered at times. We're going to have times where we're not feeling it. Okay, we in our feelings or whatever the case may be. But knowing that God is praying for us.
Yeah, that's good.
So that we can find strength in the times that we don't have strength. Mm-hmm. And knowing that he cares enough to pray for us, even though he knows that
right.
sometimes the prayers ain't gonna work.
Right.
I mean, that sounds really bad. But he's like, I prayed for you so your faith don't fail. But then he went and denied him 3 times. And so I can only imagine that with Jesus as well. Like sometimes he's praying and praying and praying and praying and praying for us. And we just...
That's so good.
Out here wilding.
But it reminds me of perspective that I thought was interesting on that particular verse. I think it was Jackie Hill Perry. She was just saying, kind of along the same lines, she wondered how God felt after praying for Peter. And, Peter still denied him. And she kind of made a point where she was like, but his faith only failed temporarily.
Come on.
And I was like, oh, that's so good. Cause I was reading it like that too. I was like, now Jesus done prayed for this man. And, he still done denied him 3 times. But basically she was just making the point that, while his faith did fail temporarily, he got back up and it didn't fail permanently.
That's so good. Talking about the grace, because his faith failed temporarily and it had the potential to be permanent because he went back to fishing. But in God's grace, or Jesus' grace, is God, he literally comes and finds him.
That's good.
I'm sorry. That was good to me. I'm sorry. He literally comes and finds him and speaks to him and helps him get back on track. Mm-hmm. And keep on going about the business. I mean, then Peter literally on Pentecost was the one that was like...
man, my boy was on fire after that.
Literally.
My mind is going in 2 different directions because on the topic of grace and Jesus going to find him and bringing him back into all of the things. So the first thing I want to point out is when Jesus was having a conversation with Peter, Jesus didn't have an accusatory tone.
Come on.
Like how sometimes we beat ourselves up like, oh, I'm a failure. It ain't going to never happen. Oh, God is just angry at me. I can't go to God. All of this stuff, which is really the enemy.
Yep, because he's an accuser.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I see what you did there. I like that. Because he is our accuser. Yes, he get in our mind and tells us these things. So now we're sitting in those feelings. But it's important to realize that Jesus didn't even approach Peter in that way. He did not have a tone like
he wasn't
mad. It was just matter of fact. It was just very matter of fact. Like I know that you're gonna deny me.
Good.
And then the last thing you had made me think about was even when he had resurrected, on one of the versions in the Gospels, can't remember which one, but
go find it. That one.
Right, that part. But Jesus was like, "Go tell my brothers, go get my brothers," basically including Peter. And I found that interesting. I always found that so interesting that he singled out Peter because I can only imagine, like Peter probably beating himself up, thinking Jesus didn't want to use him and all that. But Jesus was like, "Yeah, but go get my brothers and tell them I've risen from the dead, including Peter."
Yeah.
And that's just
go get my homie.
Yeah.
I know I play too much.
I
play too much, and I wonder. I'm just curious because as you're talking, I wonder if Jesus knew it wasn't personal.
Yeah.
Like I just want now. Sometimes we gonna take this and we gonna run. I know. I just had a thought. I'm just curious. I'm just really just talking out loud because this all is off the top of the dome, and so I'm just curious if Jesus was just matter of fact, what like you were saying, he wasn't accusing Peter. Man, you said that you was never gonna deny me.
You ain't crap.
Okay,
how you gonna do me like that? I can't
trust your word. Like, come on.
I thought you was my boy.
Okay, you know how we do as humans. Yeah. And so I just wonder, at least in this particular instance, if Jesus didn't even take it personally. I know.
Yeah, I mean that's a good.
I just wonder.
Point. Yeah.
And so sometimes maybe we need to take a stab out of Jesus' book, and sometimes not take things so personally. Even choosing not to stay in the hurt or whatever the case may be. If someone we love or whatever denies us, find your own thing. Right? They don't X, Y, and Z. Maybe we can.
That's good.
At some point, sometimes it's not personal.
That's really good, and I feel like what probably helped out too is Jesus was committed to his He was committed to being about his father's business. We're talking about standing on business. Listen, Jesus was committed to the epitome of standing on business. Jesus said he about his father's business. So I also feel
got beat up by his mama.
Right? Like, we're not looking for you, boy. Didn't you know? that verse be taking me out. But to speak to your point, just basically, I also feel like what probably have helped him not take it personal is just basically being so committed to accomplishing and seeing his father's will through that it didn't matter like what got in the way. He it was just that committed, like, if that makes sense.
It had to happen.
Yeah.
I don't went left. Go ahead.
Oh, where you was going?
My boy, Pastor John F. Hanna. My boy, he's one of the people who about taught me how to pray. Okay, him and Gangsta Prophet, they was tag teaming me, teaching me how to pray. Okay, I was like, yes, Lord, teach me. And so anyway, he's doing a series about how it had to happen this way. And so we were saying that Jesus was so focused on his assignment and being about his father's business that he didn't allow Judas. He didn't allow Peter. He didn't allow the annoying things that the disciples did to irritate and frustrate him so much to the point where he was just like throwing his hands up and saying to heck with it, because he knew that this is my father's business. And so it had to be that. I don't know why I went there. It had to be that way.
Yeah.
And that is wild.
That is wild.
That is wild. Because I don't think I could.
That would have been tough.
Yeah, like the way he when he met Judas.
he knew.
He knew.
So and to add another element to it, it's like because he knows everything, so he know all this in advance, and I know that I'm gonna have to die for these people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that adds another. That's something different. Like, not only are y'all getting on my nerves, because I'm sure they got on his nerves, but also the fact that I actually have to sacrifice my life at the ripe age of 33.
At the ripe, okay.
For these people. So I'm sure that I can only imagine. I honestly wish the Bible like gave us a little more of insight of what Jesus was thinking about those things. So I just find it interesting.
Mm-hmm. Like, can I just dive into your mind? Like,
right, facts though.
What was it like? What was going through your mind at this moment? And what about that moment? What was you thinking? Like, what was you really thinking?
Right. Like what was you really thinking? Like, we want the real tea.
How did you not punch them in the face? Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Help me. Jesus be having me laughing through the scripture. He low-key was funny.
He was.
Like, I be reading it because I'm silly, so I be reading it kind of like in a goofy way. Like, I think the description with Jesus, Mary told Jesus that they had ran out of wine, and he basically was like, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Like, what you want me to do?
Like, it ain't my time. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Y'all better handle that. But he still did it.
Right.
Like, one of our pastors said that he wasn't crazy.
Yeah, go ahead.
He respected his mother. He still did it.
I wasn't no fool.
Yeah, he wasn't no fool.
But it's like she came to him. He was like, "Cool story, cool story,
cool
dude."
story." Yeah,
like
facts.
Cool story. Like, oh, okay. Like, so anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, so we're gonna.
My dog wants something.
Well, I think we're gonna shift a little bit. It depends on how the spirit move. But
say hey to Ace.
It's cute self. But I also think it's important for us to talk about too, just as believers, just not being. How do I want to word it? Not so arrogant and thinking that we can't slip up.
Okay.
While following Jesus, while trusting God, and being filled with expectation, all the things, because it's possible. And I feel like sometimes as we mature in faith and as we go deeper in our relationship with God, sometimes we're being honest, we can get in here. We forget. We can get in the mindset of, oh, they did that. Oh, I would never do that. I can't believe. Now, how would you knew better than that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. And I just feel like that's the thing. And it's just, I just feel like it's important for us to just realize that while it's not the goal to slip up, sometimes we may, but just not being in a place where we don't even consider it at all.
Yeah, we have to remember that we have to remember our humanity.
Yeah,
and sometimes it reminds me of this leadership training our pastors did, and he was essentially saying that sometimes we can get so far removed from being first saved or from not being saved that we forget that we was once.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? And we forget that in one way that I took it, we forget our humanity.
Yeah.
That literally you can wake up one day and everything can just be coming at you, and it takes one snap decision to do the thing that, oh my gosh, that person did.
That's real.
And so we have to remember that it can literally happen to any of us because the enemy wants us to.
That part.
So he will always present opportunities for you to fall. For some, it's gonna be fine. Men.
Emphasis on fine.
Or women. Yeah. For others, it's going to be people on my last nerves, and Lord knows I want to cuss them out.
For some people, it may be like, ooh, that marijuana smells good.
Okay.
You know,
listen, that high would be so
it's all kinds of stuff, you know. Like, ooh, I would love a drink right now. So it's, you know, people have their own, what's the word?
Vice?
Yeah, different people have their own vices, but yeah. But but yeah, anyway, one of them words. Right, either one of them words. But yeah, what you were saying.
Oh, that was it.
But yeah, so I just feel like it's also important to kind of throw that in there as well, because like Lex was saying, that we have to remember our humanity and not become so detached that we just think it can't happen to us, right? Because going back to my boy Peter.
Fine. Oh, go ahead. Going back to your boy Peter. Go ahead.
Going back to my boy Peter, like he low key got a little arrogant at the table. You know, Jesus told him what was going to happen, and like, my boy was like, "Not me." But not only that, he said, "I won't, but the rest of them, they may fall away, but not me.
I'm gonna be the sole survivor."
He was the first one.
That's not funny. He said, "I'm gonna be the sole survivor."
Yeah, facts though. And I just think that's the epitome of what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, logically, it don't make sense, right? You've been walking with Jesus for 3 years. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Peter may have got comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's always going to be here.
Right. And he always going to be here, always going to be here to, to protect me and all of that. He may have gotten comfortable and thought it wouldn't happen to him.
That's so good. That's why we're told to say... I bet that's why Peter wrote, "Stay vigilant."
My boy said, "Cause the enemy proud." He know firsthand that the enemy proud like a lion. I was like, "Whoa, that's kind of intense." Cause I got. So let me put y'all on, cause I done got.
Sorry, that just took me out of here. But I'm willing to bet, because he's the one who says that we need to stay vigilant, that we need to beware, because the enemy prowls around like a lion, looking for whom he can devour.
That's real.
So he's like, I learned my lesson.
Right. Somebody else on.
Listen, he like, you don't got to tell me twice. He said, I'm gonna learn a lesson one time. Okay, ain't no repeat seasons. Okay, he said, ain't no repeat. That's funny. Anyway.
But look how powerful he was able to be for the kingdom, right? Look how he was able to stand on kingdom business.
Come on.
Once he got back up and once he I guess didn't, like we was talking about earlier, didn't allow himself to just sit in his emotions, and you know what I'm saying, and just how effective he was able to be after that. Because I'm sure, like we laughing, but I'm sure he was way more vigilant going forward, and way more sober minded. Going forward, and just was more equipped to be able to fight against the enemy schemes and tactics. So
yeah, very much so. And I wonder if God allowed that to happen to come after that pride. I don't. Yeah. As well, I saw a meme. I don't know, and it was essentially kind of talking about what we're talking about now, and it was essentially with somebody that had on all the armor of God, and they was like, I don't do I and it was like pride, and it was like a little arrow, right in their eye. So I wonder if God allowed it, because like let me come after that pride.
That's good.
Let me
get that up off.
Let me get that up off you, bruh.
Yeah. Wow, that's good.
So,
but at the end of the day, he was still useful.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's so good. Okay, another route that we could also go is also you were saying that I ain't gonna hold you, Aaliyah. At first, you know to see.
I'm weak.
I ain't gonna lie, that thing started playing.
That's my song.
But she said, if I ever try again, you can put it on. Try again.
When I used to sing that on karaoke.
Listen,
all the time.
And so that's essentially what Peter did. And sometimes we need to be like Peter.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we fall, sometimes when we cuss somebody out, I ain't cussed nobody out in 3 years. I just fell off the wagon.
But it's okay. Get back up.
Exactly.
That's been my whole walk with God.
Okay.
Like, if I'm being honest, like it literally, that's the epitome of.
That's good. Yeah, sorry. To get for real, is we have to come after that all or nothing thing. This is why I'm a therapist for real. We have to come after that all or nothing thinking. I can imagine Peter, but even us as humans, when we do fall, oh my gosh, I've lost all my progress.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh my gosh, I'm starting
all over. Yeah.
The way over again.
That's good.
And it does not work like that. That is what we call all or nothing thinking. That is rigid, and that is often unhelpful and untrue. I wanted to say irrational. And so we need to come after that all or nothing thinking when we do fall or fall short or fail or disappoint ourselves. It doesn't automatically mean, or have a hard week.
That's so good. Sometimes we disqualify ourselves.
Come on.
And that's so good. I feel like that's the whole episode. But I think the crazy thing is God don't even view us in an all or nothing way.
Because he know better.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because he know your favorite word, he know we be fickle sometimes. But yeah, that's good. Because even when Peter, got back up and everything, Jesus still said the same 2 words that he said in the beginning.
Come on.
Follow me.
Come on.
And I don't know why that resonates with me so much, because I just feel like it just speaks to that mindset that you were just talking about, how sometimes we disqualify ourselves and think, oh, I gotta start all over. Because I'm pretty sure Peter thought that he had to start all over. Mm-hmm. Jesus probably wasn't rocking with him no more. For him to even, like you said earlier, to go back to fishing, that gives us an idea where his mind was. You know what I'm saying? But Jesus in his grace still said, follow me. So I said all that to say we can still be useful.
Yeah, and then gave him an assignment. Do you love me? Feed my sheep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, like, I love Jesus.
Yeah. You don't love God? I love God.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
Okay. Folks got mad at Don Staley for saying if you don't believe in God, something wrong with you. But she was right.
Facts.
And I heard her say Jesus, so I was like, okay.
Right.
I can be all in now. I heard the Jesus. Because some folks be... Anyway, that's another conversation.
Hiding under the umbrella of God.
Okay, listen. I need to hear you say specific. Jesus. Okay, I need you to say it's... And so, yeah. So, in his grace, in his mercy, he's still going to come after you. Let's monitor that all or nothing thinking. Yeah. I'll leave it at that. Let's monitor that all or nothing thinking. Because just because I fell, or I fell short, or I disappointed myself, it does not mean that catastrophizing too, I have to start all over. Now I'm thinking about the worst. I'm coming for y'all today. I'm just in therapist mode today. Apparently, that catastrophizing. I gotta start all over. Oh my gosh, Jesus just totally hates me. My life is completely over. How am I ever going to get back on track? That is catastrophizing.
And if I can add that, it's anti-Bible.
Come on.
Because the whole Bible just talks about how there's nothing we can do
that can separate
us from God or to earn his love.
Come on.
There's nothing we can do to make him love us more or less.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So God and his mercy and his grace came to earth as a human in Jesus because we couldn't save ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because we couldn't do any action or work our way up to God. So I just want to throw that in there too, because that's also a trick of the enemy, right? Us sitting in that mindset, having us thinking that we just too far gone, that God don't want to use us, and God is the one, right? God is the one who give us our strength, you know, and power. So we're never too broken to be used. Broken crayon, still color.
Okay, that is a beautiful quote. I don't know who came with that quote,
but I love it.
But it is a beautiful quote, to say the least. So yeah, go ahead, do something.
Yeah, so just what do we talk about?
No, they ain't looking at that.
Oh yeah, we ain't talking about none of that. Yeah, so just basically don't stay in a place of when you fall, get back up. Jesus is going to be there to help you get back up when you fall. God's grace is sufficient. You know what I'm saying? So we're never too far gone to feel like God can't use us, because that's a trick of the enemy. So we just have to stay in our word and know what God says about us. Know that we are, you know, who God says that we are, and just allow that to be our confidence.
Okay. Period. Point blank. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this with your folks and all of them. If any of you guys are feeling stuck and stagnant in your relationship with God, click the link down below and grab your free copy of the 5 ways to deepen your relationship with God. We are going to walk you through 5 daily habits that you can begin to implement that can help you ignite that passion for God again. Because as you draw near to Him, He will draw near to you. So click the link down below and get your free guide. Anything else? That's it. I bet. Go be great. Don't be so hard on yourself. Stop disqualifying you. And know that God's still gonna use you. That's it. That's all.
KP out.
We